This historic night then for British football with the lineups. For Liverpool, in goal, Ray Clemence, his 5th Wembley Cup final as a Liverpool player. The back four, number 2, Phil Neal. Number 4, Phil Thompson, who through injury missed the European Cup final in Rome a year ago. Number 3, Alan Hansen, and it was his goal, by the way, against Dynamo Dresden, which set Liverpool on the way to Wembley. And number 6, and captain Emlyn Hughes. Number 10, Terry McDermott. Number 11, Graham Souness. Number 5, Ray Kennedy. They're the midfield players, supported by number 8, Jimmy Case. And up front, number 7, Kenny Dalglish, and number 5, David Ferkler. Quickly through the Brugge side, Brugge Jensen in goal. The back four, Bastien's their captain. Krieger and Lakens, the centre-backs. And Gino Mas is at left-back. In midfield, Julien Coles, René van der Eycken and Danny de Cuba. And in attack, Raoul Simoen, Lehos Koo, and this, the man who was brought in to replace Lambert for only his 3rd game, would you believe, in the Brugge side. And the Danish international Jan Sorensen at outside left, and the referee.
Brugge with a little mascot as well, a tiny little boy there. They're all in white tonight with trimmings on the shoulders and shorts, but they ostensibly are all in white. Brugge, the Belgian champions, and Liverpool all in red. One other change, of course, Dennis, we should mention. Tommy Smith, that most unfortunate accident. Must say it must have been a very brave pickaxe to have put Tommy Smith out. But we've got Alan Hansen there, and I don't think Alan Hansen's going to let them down at the back.
Oh, I don't think so, and particularly playing against the continental side, Peter. I think there might have been a problem of safety playing, say, a German side or an English team or whatever. He's come down from Scotland. We saw him early in the season, a bit relaxed at the back, but since then, of course, he's had the experience of playing a few games in the Liverpool side. He knows that he can't mess about at the back. I don't think he'll let Liverpool down at all.
One thing has just occurred to me is that Ernst Happel, the manager of Brugge, as I was saying earlier, is also the Holland manager. I'm sure, quite apart from looking at Kenny Dalglish and Graham Souness as Liverpool players tonight, he must also be keeping an eye on them, of course, for Scotland, because they're in the same group as Holland and Argentina.
The man who was brought in to replace Lambert for only his 3rd game, would you believe, in the Brugge side. And the Danish international Jan Sorensen
managed the Dutch World Cup side. And none of these players have ever played at Wembley before. Straight back to Brugge Jensen. I should take those off if I were you. He's going hard. Well, Dalglish very nearly was able to make something of that. Back it goes again to Jensen. Jensen, who has a reputation of playing exceptionally well in European Cup games. This is the number 5, Gino Mas, the 21-year-old. Van der Eycken, the real commander of the side. Well, brought down by Dalglish there, giving Brugge a free kick. Which Mas will take. Noticeable that the ball is in fact an official World Cup ball, slightly different markings than the one that we're used to seeing here, but that's the official World Cup ball. This is Koo playing it towards Sorensen, and you'll notice how quickly Phil Neal was on to Sorensen, this number 11 and danger man. It's with Phil Thompson and now with Ray Clemence. Hughes. Thompson. Liverpool firm favourites, but then of course so were Arsenal on Saturday, and Ipswich know well enough what happened to them. And the Belgians came here saying, well, we were underdogs when we played Atletico Madrid and we beat them, and we were certainly underdogs when we played the fabulous Juventus side of Italy and we beat them as well. Thompson in very quickly for Liverpool. So although the odds must favour Liverpool, you must be a little bit wary of this Belgian side. Van der Eycken, nice little ball played here to Simoen. Simoen past Thompson, but not getting it before it got to the byline. Goal kick to Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, with vast European experience. They've played 96. This is their 96th European game, spread over 14 seasons. Long ball followed by Souness, and it's Lakens who hits it to Mas. Forward now to Koo. Interesting character. He's a Hungarian who defected, in fact, 18 months ago. Oh, and he's given the ball away. He defected badly there so far as Brugge wasn't a very good ball played in and easy for Jensen. Koo, the number 10 for Bruges, we should watch out for him, the Hungarian who defected 18 months ago and in fact played his first game for Bruges last Saturday when they were beaten in the semi-final of the Belgian Cup. Hughes, back to Ray Clements. Alan Hansen. Now Phil Thompson. Phil Neal. That's out of play and a throw to Liverpool. Effects of deafening. Fantastic atmosphere at Wembley, and everywhere you look there are red and white banners. Case. Koo doing well, beating Neal, but it's a throw for Liverpool. Phil Thompson, I suppose it's good certainly to see him at last getting a chance. Injury kept him out of both the FA Cup final and the European Cup final last year, the Liverpool number 4. Hughes to Souness. Emlyn Hughes again. And now Terry McDermott attacking him as he likes to do from the middle of the field, but losing touch there. Basteins, Koo, and Lakin's linking up. Here's Van der Eycken, the real danger man. Flicking it here for Gino Mas. Long ball forward there towards Simone, and Hansen's there. Back to Clements. Five minutes gone, no score. Souness. Hansen. Playing in the centre of the back with Emlyn Hughes away on the left-hand side of the back 4 for Liverpool. Dalglish. Kennedy. Souness again. Fairclough on the far side. Nodded in nicely. Dalglish diving in there, and Jensen was out quickly. Took a knock on his left arm, I think. As Dalglish went roaring in there. Ball played in there. Out went Jensen. And in fact, the goalkeeper now is on the ground again while that slow motion was on, and a bit of attention to his left knee now. Danish international with 13 caps. And we see it from behind the goal, that collision between Dalglish. Fairclough leaping beautifully there. And that's where the accident happened. The ball in play again now with Alan Hansen. And Phil Thompson. Hansen. Well, Souness gave it away. Here's Koo, the Hungarian. Nice looking ball there. Simonsen, or rather Sorensen's after it. It's a Liverpool throw. That's a free kick. A shove in the back by Basteins on Fairclough. Kennedy with it. And an offside there against Dalglish. Hughes winning it well in the air. And Fairclough offside. Good decision by the Dutch linesman. There wasn't much in it, but he was offside. Ian St John in the early comments.
Well, I don't think Liverpool have quite settled down yet. You know, they want to get a hold of the ball and knock a few passes around, and they haven't quite done that just yet.
Hansen playing it back to Clements. Well, that was a bad throw out by Ray Clements, but in fact there was a handball as Van der Eycken tried to control it. I think a lot of people expected Liverpool maybe to go a little harder at Bruges to intimidate them, I mean in the right sort of way. But they've played it very patiently so far, Liverpool.
Well, this is a style, Brian. You know, they want to do this, and I think the quicker they get into this routine, the quicker they'll get on top of the game.
It's with Phil Thompson now. Dalglish being very closely watched indeed by Lakens and by Van der Eycken there, and McDermott couldn't quite make anything of that one. Phil Thompson's header, nicely guided there for Jimmy Case. 24 years old today. I know what a birthday present he'd like, and well, that pass to Fairclough was offside. Tommy Smith just admitting that he didn't even know it was his birthday, but I'm informed that it is. Jimmy Case, that is, the number 8. This is Jensen, the Bruges goalkeeper. By Neil, it was an accidental one, it looked to me, but the referee Charles Corve has given a free kick to Bruges. Sorensen, the number 11, who was an amateur 8 months ago, just gone out of the picture. Mars going in, and a good piece of play by Phil Neal. Slipping and sliding there, and Laken's just a little hard there in on Fairclough. In fact, that number 4 for Bruges used to be known as Mac the Knife. He's known as the hard man in this Bruges side. Certainly he clattered into David Fairclough. Liverpool on the move again now with Neil. Case. Souness.
Well, they're trying to play offside, the Belgians, and this is always a dangerous ploy with a player like David Fairclough, because he's so quick that I think he almost caught him once before over in the left wing, and if they try it too often, I think David could catch him.
I think they're renowned throughout Belgium for playing the offside game, so I think Liverpool won't be in the least surprised that that's what's happening in these opening minutes. Case, cut out by Mas. This is Cools. We've not seen much of him so far. The marathon man, they call him, because he goes and he goes and he goes. He's 31 years old. And Thompson. Hughes played on for Kennedy. Cools has gone right there with Kennedy. Played back for Emlyn Hughes. Dalglish shielding it well again as he does. And Kennedy couldn't quite find him the next time. Here's Cools again. A midfield man who strikes forward with venom, but that pass not reaching Sorensen. And here's Case again for Liverpool. Played down the line for Fairclough. Look at Laken sticking right with him, though. But Fairclough turns it back in only for Van der Eycken. And a fall for Neil. But now for Julian Cools. Coup. De Kuba outside him. Simoon, here's De Kuba. Now Bastings, who scored early on against Juventus in the semi-final. De Kuba. Bastings trying to play it back in there again, and it's with Dalglish. Turn, a little bit of shielding, the accurate pass this time for Terry McDermott. Played on again, this time for Jimmy Case. And no trouble. fact. The first one was in '63, won by AC Milan. Then in 1968, that never-to-be-forgotten night when Manchester United beat Benfica here. And 1971 when Ajax of Holland beat Panathinaikos of Greece. Kennedy for McDermott. Case away on his right, Fairclough up, and again they've caught him offside, but game allowed to go on. Neil. Souness. Chipped in this time for Case. Can he get in behind them this time? He's got in behind Mars. Played across there, and so nearly with Dalglish on the far side. It was the captain of number 2, Bastaines, who saved them there. A corner then for Liverpool, taken by Terry McDermott. McDermott, a deep cross again. Kennedy on the far side, allowed a lot of leeway there. Played in again this time for Graham Souness. A little chip in there. Well, that certainly looked like a foul on Alan Hansen. But it's a goal kick. Tommy Smith.
Well, Liverpool, just about putting the pressure on now, which probably the nerves of the first few minutes has smoothed the game out. But now that they are putting pressure on and working around the offside bit, I think Blues are going to struggle for a wee while until they get more composure back. A couple of balls in the box there have troubled them, and I think probably Liverpool are going to take note of this and throw a few more of it.
Phil Neal, rather, Phil Thompson up. Thompson again. Van der Eycken. So a free kick to Liverpool. Phil Thompson. Terry McDermott. Again that slanting across. Kennedy on the far side. Jensen. Kuba. Bastaines. Cools. Hansen. Thompson. Be in trouble there. Very nearly was, but got himself out of it with the help of Hansen, and now Neil just plugging it on for Case. Dalglish offside. Not much in that one, though. And a good sign here that the referee is saying, well, Bruges were in possession, let's carry on with the game, let's not stop for that free kick. Giving a game a chance to flow a little bit as de Kuba takes it up for Bruges. Long, spectacular ball. If Mars can get there, which he can't, it's a goal kick. Case. Hughes underneath this one. Dalglish. Case, a real battler. Fairclough, super sub, on at the start. So often missed out on these major occasions, being brought on as a sub, but he's there in his own right tonight. 21 years old. Here he is, David Fairclough again, but caught offside. Thompson, Souness. Now Phil Neal to Phil Thompson. Again, this patient build-up. I'm sure there are millions of you wanting Liverpool to push forward and urging them to do something, but As Ian St John said, this is the way to play it. Calmly and carefully, getting in control of yourself, exploding occasionally, as Jimmy Case tried to do there. 11 goals this season, a real Liverpool lad, Liverpool bred and born. 4 of them in the European Cup this season. Bastains, Lakens, Maas. It's a Liverpool throw. Supporters making themselves heard now. Maas. Thompson. Real clash there as Simon went in as well. Van der Eycken back. It's a game that's not quite captivated the way that the FA Cup final did on Saturday, but there's a long way to go and there is such a lot at stake. Dalglish, McDermott, offside again. That favourite Bruges tactic. And in fairness, they're playing it so well, as Tommy was saying, that David Fairclough is probably the man who might catch them out, but they're playing it well at the moment. Showed little sign of being caught out. Shove in the back by Hansen. It was just a mistimed run and challenge there. Free kick already taken. Van der Eycken through to De Kuba. Koo. Lakens. And that's not a very good one. Bruges, in fact, who come to this game without 2 of their top players, Couron, a brilliant midfield player, and the veteran Lambert, who scored so many good games for them both, or many good goals for them, both injured. But Kools is there, beating Dalglish, finding Simoon. So Kools for Bruges. And Hughes doing his job well. Sarnes, McDermott. Bastains. And a lovely little ball played this time for the Hungarian Koo. Simon is in there. Bastains is right in there. They'll have to watch that number 2 for Bruges. Alphonse Bastains, their captain. He used to be an outside right. He loves to come forward and is a good crosser of a ball. And certainly knows when to come forward and attack. He did against Juventus in the semi-final with a goal after only 3 minutes. 0-0 here. Sorensen with the corner for Bruges. Kennedy heading it away. Kools beaten by Dalglish. And the long ball forward, hoping to find the pace of Fairclough. Bruges were claiming handball there. Fairclough has gone past his man. Case is waiting in the middle. And he tried to make something of it. There was a bit of pushing and shoving going on there, but Pace couldn't quite make it. Now can Kenny Dalglish. Safely held by Jensen. Interesting break that, though, by Fairclough. And now a break is on by De Kuba for Bruges. Kools. Sorensen. Now has he got the legs of both those Liverpool defenders, Hansen and Hughes. No foul there by Hughes on Sorensen, says the Dutch referee. And Liverpool now find McDermott. Kennedy. McDermott. Couldn't keep that in. Feet too high there, free kick. Simons turning it down again for De Kuba. Koo, and an offside this time against Sorensen. Terry McDermott for Liverpool. Phil Neal. Dalglish. A free kick to Liverpool this time. Foul by the number 3, Krieger. Austrian international. In fact, he'll be going to the World Cup next month with Austria. Eddie Krieger, the sweeper for Brugge. Neal hitting it in low. Graham Souness. Oh, missed his kick badly there, but an offside as Van der Eycken tried to find Simoon. Well, Ian?
Well, the way they're playing offside, I expect Terry McDermott and possibly Ray Kennedy to sneak in from the back. I think it's on now for one of them to do that.
It's Hansen at the moment, though. Chipped in. Lakin's misjudged that one, but Dalglish couldn't get in behind him. Coming up to 25 minutes gone. No score. Hughes. Neal. Case reacting very quickly, but it's noticeable that Mars reacted quickly with him, and here's McDermott getting in there, and that nearly came for Kennedy. It might still come for Kennedy. Oh, across the face of the goal. It looked a certain one. Well, there was a case there of the midfield man, as Ian St John was said, getting forward. It's McDermott getting it through there, a missed kick, and Kennedy getting it back across the face of that goal and past the post. The nearest Liverpool have been to a goal, anybody's been to a goal, still 0-0, 25 gone now. Thompson, and a free kick to Liverpool. Thompson carefully paced forward there. Dalglish battling, McDermott doing a bit of battling, and a free kick. No, it's a throw. Van der Eycken with it. Another Bruges throw. And it's Randy Van der Eycken. Koo, Simoon, Kools. Interesting cross. Clements coming forward, always curling away from him, but Clements committed himself and went all the way. Fairclough nodding it in this time for Souness. Force back, finding Hansen. Kennedy. Now Neal. Good ball. Kools. Thompson cutting that out. Kennedy again. Hughes has gone spare on the far side. Well, that very nearly came for Graham Souness, but not quite. And here's Jan Sorensen. Hansen, who's giving it away a bit at the moment. McDermott helping it on for Neal. Flick first time for Thompson. Everybody well inside that Bruges half now, except Ray Clements. Fairclough nodding it down. And a bit of battling going on there between Thompson and Sorensen, and the referee telling Phil Thompson to cut it out. Free kick to Bruges. .28 minutes gone. Tommy Smith, were you hoping for a breakthrough before this?
Yeah, in a way, but Ray Kenny had a great chance there. You know, the ball was bouncing awkward for him, and unfortunately, you know, just went across the face of the goal. But in as much as the only teams that create any chances so far are Liverpool, with a bit of luck, they're going to wear them down so much that in the end, If they do get a goal, you might get maybe 3 or 4, you know, but till then, I think Liverpool's just got to play it the way they're playing, push it round as they are doing, and just get on with it, you know, it's as simple as that.
Ray Clements with the clearance. Now McDermott. Fairclough. Oh, he nearly went all the way. He caused a little bit of worry there in that Bruges defence. But now Sorensen. Pass didn't quite come off, catching Phil Thompson on the heel. Here's Thompson again. Hansen. And Hughes. Kuba. Coles. Oh. Challenge at least picked up by one by Kennedy on Basteins. And it's a free kick to Bruges. Van der Eycken. Ball played firmly and accurately there, but now, oh, that came off the referee. McDermott now. Neil back to Clements. Fairclough. Sorensen. For possession there, and now it's Fairclough. Played on again for Case, but pass is there. And Case a little strong on Moss, and I think Jimmy Case is going to get a yellow card. For the foul on Moss, and you can see a bit of Belgian anger there, those Bruges players, for the challenge there. Did it look as bad as all that to you, Ian St John?
No, Jimmy Case went for the ball there, Brian. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, he had to go for it. He slid in, and, you know, the lad just fell over his leg. Nothing in it at all.
Change your opinion now?
I never saw anything there. I'm sure that was just accidental.
Well, Gino Mas, the number 5. 21. There's any chance of him coming off? No. A free kick then to Bruges. That header now, Dalglish. Now the challenge was quick there. Coles. Simon. And Hughes in for Thompson. Back it goes to Clements. They're a real team of hustlers. When they see anything even slightly breaking their way up front, they really hustle for it to Bruges. That's a lovely ball, though, for David Fairclough for Liverpool. Played inside for McDermott. Case is right in there. On the far side, Kennedy is coming up, but Jensen with the throw out for De Kuba. Hughes. Fairclough. And clearly an obstruction there, yes, Angle. I think not only an obstruction there by Basteins, who wasn't happy with the decision, but I think Kenny Dalglish got an elbow in the nose as well. So free kick for Liverpool. Souness running over it. That lazy left foot of Ray Kennedy. Hansen's up here. Neil is up there. A good header in. And Jensen had to jump for that one under pressure from Fairclough. Nice. Forward to Fairclough. Beaten away by Lakens. So Hughes goes away to get the ball. I think he said before the start that complacency would be the biggest enemy that Liverpool could have. But I think they realise already that this Bruges side is not one to be trifled with. Certainly Liverpool have had the better of things so far. But there were one or two moments when Bruges have looked quite dangerous coming forward, and they certainly look very well organised at the back. Hansen's header there for Hughes, playing his 73rd European game. McDermott. Now Dalglish. Rippling little run. Brought down, and a good advantage play, but he won't let that advantage go, as Van der Eycken will get the yellow card this time for the foul on Jimmy Case. So the referee, who was reluctant to give yellow cards when England played Brazil, has now given two. One to Case and one to Van der Eycken. Having trouble finding his pencil, I gather, but he's found it now. So, do we fancy Jimmy Case, I wonder, to send a blistering shot through this Bruges wall and into the back of the net? That's exactly what Liverpool could do with now. 2, 4, 5 in the wall, and there's Jimmy Case through the wall, touched away. The power of the shot, you get some indication of that, because Jensen's punch virtually went away into touch. Tremendous. Look at the ball soaring away there. Here's the free kick coming in. Van der Eycken getting it away. Souness. Crossed in once more. Hansen right in there. And Van der Eycken getting it away. Thompson. Hughes. No offside then. But here's Maas. Neil beating Sorensen, and here's Sorensen maybe with a little bit of space until Souness came in to deny him it. Neil, McDermott. Easily being intercepted there by Simoon. Phil Thompson now to David Fairclough. Neil. A bit too close to the keeper. Poor cross. Souness cutting it out. Case. St John, they defended well, actually. Bruges, they look a good side in defence.
They have, because Liverpool haven't really had what you could call a clear-cut chance, apart from the one Kennedy had to cross a goal. They have defended well. They're marking tight Fairclough and Dalglish and making life difficult for them. But I think Graham Souness is playing well in midfield for Liverpool, and he sparked off one or two good moves, and you never can tell. Things might brighten up.
Thompson, his feet dangerously high there on Simoon, giving Bruges the free kick. I think we've seen that Bruges are not a side to be trifled with. In their semi-final against Juventus, they went to Turin, a side packed with Italian World Cup players, and only conceded a goal from Bettiger right near the end, and then won the second leg 2-0. Van der Eycken with that little chipped free kick. Kennedy getting it away, but not very far. Here's Kools. Crossed in again there. Clements for this one, grabbing it well at full stretch. And a nice throw here to McDermott. And onside this time. Fairclough's okay, and Lakers is after him. Fairclough is up, Case is going in, off the goalkeeper, and it'll come this time for Dalglish. A chance, though, for Bruges to reform, perhaps. Souness with the shot just over. That was a brilliant break by Liverpool. And it was the hard work of David Fairclough in the first place that did it. But there was the finishing bit by Souness. But Bruges were in a bit of trouble when their goalkeeper had to come out, and the ball rebounded off him. It might have gone anywhere. In fact, it went to Dalglish. But it's still 0-0 with 6 minutes to go to half-time. That's a ball there for Sorensen, and Clemens has got to come a long way out, and he half changed his mind. Just got that challenge in, and the ball into touch. Van der Eycken. De Kuba, lovely bit of play by him, and by Emlyn Hughes on the far side. Oh, it's fallen for Coles. A quick chip in, and over the top though from Koo. And Bruges for the moment looking dangerous there. From the moment Hughes slipped, and Cools was on it. Thompson. Neil. Dalglish just nodding it on for Kennedy. 5 minutes to half-time. Fairclough right in there. Player of tremendous pace. McDermott spotting Neil. Good combination here for Liverpool. Case. Now can he get the cross in? It's not a bad one. And the header by McDermott was wide of the mark. Liverpool beginning to break out with a little more power now, Tommy Smith.
Yeah, well, Brian, I think the thing is with Bruges coming forward a bit more, and you know they just had a chance of it's enabled Liverpool to get one or two breakaways through David Fairclough, and this is probably when we're at a dangerous. You know, it's a case of if the other side attacks you, that you break, and you're liable to score more than they are. This is why probably Bruges look a little bit more, if you like, when they do get an attack, as if they're doing well. But basically, it's because Liverpool are pushing up and they're doing all the attacking, and Bruges look dangerous. Now where we go, Terry Mack. It's a problem really to say that if Bruges did a bit more attacking, they're going to get beat a damn sight easier than if they defend.
Tommy Smith, I should add, injured of course, and out of this final, but squirming in his seat enough up here in our commentary box to suggest that he's playing every ball and heading everyone away and making every pass. This is Eddie Krieger, the Austrian, with the free kick for Bruges. Hansen, Souness. Bit of space here now for Dalglish. Flick to the right, and here's McDermott. Case is up ahead of him, so is Fairclough. Kennedy on the far side. Oh, lovely skill. Neil. Cross in there for Dalglish. A turn, but not a shot. Lakins has seen him try that once or twice on television, probably. Beautiful shielder of the ball and a good turner, Dalglish. Van der Eycken, Kuls, and Jimmy Case. Fairclough, or rather now Fairclough from McDermott. Hurdling past Krieger, but the ball out of play. David Fairclough, 11 goals this season, or the 15 this season. Another Liverpool lad. Case. goalkeeping and a brilliant ball in the first place that put Fairclough free. There's the ball from Terry McDermott, just beating the Bruges defender, and the keeper did well, and Fairclough went in. A free kick to Liverpool. Now Fairclough with it. I don't feel that Liverpool are in any danger at the moment. You'd feel a little more comfortable, and I'm sure millions of watching it would, if only they could put the ball in the back of the net. Hansen there, and he very nearly did. Touched away that time by Jensen. It's a free kick by McDermott, the big young defender up there again. The Danish goalkeeper playing for Bruges, tipping it away. A corner for Liverpool. About a minute and a half to go to half-time. Corner hit in a bit lower this time. It's Koo who got it away. Dalglish, and another corner. A bit firmer this time towards Kennedy, but nodded away once more. McDermott really beginning to assert himself in the middle of the field, but Laken's got to that one, and it eventually came off McDermott for the Bruges throw. Bruges, who've just won the Belgian Championship for the third successive time. And when you consider that that includes beating clubs like Anderlecht, who've recently just won the European Cup Winners' Cup again. Well, they're no mugs. Wow. I'm surprised if the referee allows Lakens to get away with that. Deliberately holding back David Fairclough, and not even a word to the number 4. Just watch this now. Well, and the referee deciding it doesn't warrant even a rebuke from him. Just the free kick to Liverpool as we come to the last seconds of the first half. McDermott with that free kick towards Hansen again, to Dalglish. The whistle didn't go. It looked to me almost as though Dalglish was half expecting it. Thompson, and an offside this time against Fairclough, who didn't get back, although the referee is prepared to let it go on. Basteins. Cools trying a little back healer. Souness. Dalglish getting in there. As the half-time whistle goes, 45 minutes without a goal, a lot of pressure, and some good stuff from Liverpool, but not that final breakthrough that they badly want.
Tonight, again, we're waiting for the teams to come out any second now. We're just about to come out of that tunnel, I think, away to our left. Let's have a final word, though, Dennis, on David Fairclough, because that's the man that most of the publicity is on tonight. Was it going to be David Fairclough? Was it going to be Steve Highway? The shouts mean that Bruges, and the shouts and the boos mean that Bruges are coming out first. You know, he's missed so many things, and he's been, when I say missed so many things, he's missed the FA Cup here, he missed the European Cup final in Rome last year, he missed the League Cup final here. So David Fairclough, I think he's rather tired of being called a super sub, and I just wonder really whether it's almost a question of him trying a little too hard on the big occasion.
Oh, that's possible, Peter, that Liverpool are relying on Fairclough to do it. It was very unfortunate, actually, just before the end of the first half, when he got a great through ball. He beat Basteins, and he was pulled down, when if he hadn't been pulled down, of course, he was clear through for goal. I think he's probably done everything that's possibly been asked of him, but maybe that the long balls are too frequent, and he's getting into position too much, that you can only run so often. You've got to have a break every now and then, and probably he's not having the help that he probably deserves from the midfield.
Well, at the moment, we've not only got 22 players, 2 linesmen and a referee, we've got about 150 guardsmen as well, but they are now going to say farewell to the scene. So let's sit back then and face 45 minutes, indeed it could even be extra time, the 23rd European Cup final. Liverpool 0, Bruges 0. Your commentator, Alan Parry.
So Liverpool looking to find the secret to unlock this Bruges defence that they couldn't find in the first half, if they're to join that elite company of European sides who have managed to win the premier trophy of European football more than once. Real Madrid, Benfica, Inter Milan, Ajax and Bayern Munich. And of course, several of those sides Ajax and Bayern, notably during the 70s, have actually managed to win the trophy on 3 successive occasions. So Liverpool's still a long way off that sort of company. But then, when you consider the punishing league programme that they have to face here in England, their achievement, I think, already meriting ranking alongside some of those European greats themselves. But tonight, in my opinion anyway, so far, Liverpool haven't found the verve and the rhythm that we've seen from them this season. And I think they'll be looking for an injection of something like that in this second half if they're to overcome the Belgian champions Bruges. No substitutions made by either side, so when the bandsmen finally trail away in the far corner of the field and back down the tunnel from which the players have just reappeared, the Dutch referee, Charles Corver, will set the second half in motion, with Liverpool all in red, now attacking from left to right as we watch. And I'm sure all of Britain hopes, attacking with a vengeance and perhaps scoring the vital goal too in this second half. They're in possession now, inside.
And away we go now. McDermott for Liverpool. Hansen very much at home. Thompson gently through for Graham Souness. Cleach picking up the ball and finding Neil well there. Case. McDermott. Souness, and an offside again. The mixture as before in that first half. What's the answer to that offside business, Ian?
Well, the answer is that somebody has got to come from the other end of the pitch. If Graham Souness had turned and played a diagonal ball, somebody coming like Kennedy from the other side of the field could have caught him.
Massive kick by Jensen, almost to the edge of that Liverpool penalty area. Here's Souness again. Now for Kennedy. Fairclough. Basteins is there. Oh, Fairclough shoved him off it, and he's allowed to get away with it. Played in there towards Kenny Dalglish. Oh, and turned away in the end by Mars, just as Jimmy Case came in. It's a corner for Liverpool. It could so easily have been a goal as Fairclough brought it in. The ball in play again now. And McDermott crossing it in. The corner taken very quickly there. Dalglish on the far side. Beaten in the air, though, by Brugge Jensen. Jonas beaten by Kuls. Hansen. Neat and very much in control. Too high for Dalglish. Lakens playing it for Julian Kuls. Hansen. Thompson. Clements. To Neil. Souness, no, it's cut out again by Lakens, and still Liverpool can't find a winning rhythm, and now they're trying to catch them offside, and Kuls has shown Liverpool really what to do, as Ian said a moment ago, to break from behind, hope that your skill will take you through the offside trap. Now it's Dalglish, played wide this time for Fairclough, attacking them down the left. Crossed inside for Kennedy. And away quite easily by Krieger. Kuls looks a very good player still, and now Sorensen, we've seen so little of him. Well, we're not going to see much of him all the time. Hansen plays as well as that. Basteins with the throw. Koo going for that one, but Hughes got there first. It's Souness, Kennedy. Oh, he was clobbered from behind there, blatantly by Lakens, but here's Dalglish. That little rippling run, and McDermott's all the way through. Is this number 1 for Liverpool? Saved by Jensen. Brilliant keeping. And a really breathtaking break there by Terry McDermott. The goalkeeper is down in pain in his own 6-yard area. The game going on. No, it's pulled up with Koo injured. And they want to give the goalkeeper a bit of treatment. But what a moment that was. It's got the crowd buzzing here 2 Bruges players are down. It was a tremendous break. This Dalglish played his part there, and just look how McDermott pounced on it, and away he goes towards the edge of that area. The keeper coming out fast, he really lets fly, and it's one of those nights when it just won't go in. Ian?
Well, he had an option there. He could either have chipped it or placed it, and he elected to place it, and was very unfortunate. It just hit, you know, at the side of the goalkeeper, although the goalkeeper did tremendously well coming out narrow an angle.
Tommy?
Yeah, you know, it's a hard thing to say, but, you know, he probably should have scored, Terry, but, you know, to get the break that he did and go past the fella, you know, people think he's a bit slow, Terry, but he's not. He is quite fast. You know, it's all right saying do this and do that, but, you know, maybe he could have got a bit closer, but I don't know, it's a good chance, and I don't think it's going to help Bruges' confidence any.
Right, here's Kools. They're all 100% again. Mars, who was injured just after that save, and the goalkeeper himself are both fit again. And here's Dalglish looking much more sprightly in this second half. And look at McDermott thundering through the middle once more. It's with Kennedy getting past Dukuba. Now, an accurate left foot prod is what we want, and Fairclough was jumping there so well, but beaten by Jensen.
Liverpool at the moment are starting to create chances, Brian. They've come out in the second half, they've stepped up a gear, and they must have created at least 3 chances now in the first 5 minutes or so.
Oh, we'll watch for that as Neil, well, he hits the ball straight to Kools. Van der Eycken, long ball now for Sorensen. This could be very dangerous now if Sorensen's got the beating of Hughes, which he has. The player with all the tricks. But has he delayed it now a little too long? I think he has, and Clemens is out there, but I think it's a corner off Koo. The first real sight we've had of young Sorensen, the Dane, used to work for British Leyland, incidentally, in their finance department until about 8 months ago when he signed professional for Bruges. He had Hughes and Liverpool a little worried there. So the corner coming up now for Bruges to be taken by Koo, the Hungarian. Played wide towards Sorensen and Dukuba. Sorensen missing his kick. Hansen, a long ball there for Fairclough to chase. George Lakens is there, back to his keeper Jensen. Neil. McDermott. Case. It's straight at Koo. Will Thompson readjusting and just tapping that ball for Case. McDermott. Nicely played there for Case. Beautifully played there this time. No, it's Brugge, the sweeper, who's gone across there. And a throw for Liverpool. Says I know it's Steve Highway. Now it's with Sands. And Fairclough offside. Yes, Steve Highway. Who would your guess be for that to come off, Tom? Who do you think might come off?
I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, everybody seems to be playing very well. You know, it's going to have to be a forward because he's not going to sacrifice anywhere else. I don't know. Maybe Davy's getting a bit tired. And, you know, it could be very well maybe Davy Fairclough.
Dalglish a little too firmly there for Kennedy. Maybe he's just out there to jip everybody up, although it's certainly been a livelier start to this second half by Liverpool. 8 minutes of the second half gone, though. Still no score. Hughes. There is provision, of course, for extra time in this final, and if it's still level after that, then we have penalties. Stopped by Hughes. Well, that looked a fair challenge to me. Played the ball. I tell you, this is the second time I've seen this Dutch referee at Wembley in the last month, and he's a World Cup referee. I'm bound to say I've not been all that impressed with him on either occasion. It's now with Van der Eycken, number 7. Well, quite a shot on him. Ray Clements, in fact, playing his 64th European game, and he's had quite an easy night so far. Now it's Souness as Liverpool break forward again. Neil linking up well on that far side. Ball played in, but straight to Coles, and they get it away again without any bother at all. Good play, though, by Thompson. Souness again. And Jimmy Case onside this time. Played inside for Souness. Will he let one fly? Well, a goal kick. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Q. Neil again. Hoisted it high up and under.
That was one of the alehouse balls Tommy was talking about.
So the alehouse ball, the first one we've seen, coming from Phil Neal, and it's a corner that is produced. Case with the kick. Thompson with the... No, he didn't get the header. Kennedy, though. Chipped in again, but straight to the keeper. Only Simmons up, and there are 3 Liverpool players back. Thompson and Hughes for Neil. Beaten away by Basteins, but unfairly. Well, unfair challenge in the back on Kenny Dalglish by the skipper of Bruges, the number 2, Alphonse Basteins. And now Dalglish! Taken before Bruges were alive, and it nearly killed them. Very quickly taken, and while they were still looking, the ball planted wide.
It gave offside anyway, Brian. Kenny just went away just a shade too early.
Good interception, though, by Thompson. Bruges look as though they're going to bring on their number 14, Dirk Sanders. There he is, and it's the number 10, Q, the Hungarian who's coming off. Sanders, who is known as a tight marker. And things aren't happening right for Liverpool in that area. They again look comfortable enough. They really haven't given Bruges an awful lot coming forward, and Bruges haven't had much to offer. But now what's going to happen? Hansen stops it well, but begin to start to fear just a little bit for Liverpool, because they've been going for so long and they've got nothing to show for it. It's this sort of game where suddenly the underdog breaks away. And Liverpool have played with great patience, but I think there must be a certain amount of concern now beginning to come into their camp, wondering when they're going to find this decisive bit of football that will make the breakthrough. Well, can Kennedy do it? Played inside for Dalglish. Always sending them all ways, but then there were just too many in the end. first fall for Dalglish. Now does it fall for Fairclough? No, it doesn't. Tommy Smith turns away in disgust. It's nothing much going right for your team at the moment, Tommy.
Well, I think everything wasn't in disgust. It was just in, I don't know, what's it called? It was just a bad bounce of the ball, you know, for Davey. You know, it's unbelievable, really, to think we could have so much of the game and not score a goal yet. You know, it really is.
Does it start to worry you now?
It doesn't worry me, because even Brugge, even when they do break, they don't seem to be doing really anything. You know, Alan Hansen and Phil Thompson at the back are playing magic. You know, and anything that does come their way, they're gobbling it up. But it's just a strange thing. You know, even when we played Notts Forest here, we attacked and don't seem to be able to put the ball at the back of the net.
Right, while Tommy was talking, Dirk Sanders is now on, and Lajos Koo is off for Bruges. And that's a foul by Hansen on Simon. Sanders, who has just taken that free kick, known as a midfielder who can mark very well. Well, now can Liverpool get away this time? It's Dalglish again. Only Fairclough is up, and he's got to turn and check and look around. Souness. Again, they're defending well in numbers. They're not known as a good defensive side, but they've made very few slip-ups so far tonight of Bruges. Another alehouse ball there by Phil Thompson. Beautifully gathered, though, by Jensen. Nice touch there by Simon. And now Sorensen. Neil is after him. But this Dane can move a bit. He's got past Phil Neal. Well, Hughes blocking that one. Simon, or rather Sanders, and now De Kuba. Sanders, this time Lakens. Defender coming forward. He was doubtful for a long time for this game with an ankle injury, but he's a trained physiotherapist himself and gave himself treatment to make sure that he could play. So, a familiar sight of Liverpool coming forward, but without quite that mean, incisive play that we've seen so often, and particularly in the last month or so in their game. But Van der Eycken, De Kuba, and Bruges are battling well. 17 minutes of the second half gone, under half an hour of normal time to go, still 0-0. Thompson playing it back, and Highway is coming on. It's Jimmy Case as it comes. It's Jimmy Case who's going to come off. Kennedy. Dalglish claiming handball, not given. Ball out of play, the chance presumably for Steve Highway to come on. So while Emlyn Hughes waits to take the throw, Jimmy Case, who I thought had a sparkling first half, I haven't seen quite so much of him in the second half. Does it surprise you, Tommy Smith?
Well, probably the boss has decided that we've got so much of the game that we need another forward on to score goals rather than bring Davey off, who's always liable to get an odd goal or two. He's brought Stevie on with the idea probably to do a little bit more attacking and for somebody to put at the back of the net.
So 4 up now most of the time for Liverpool, I'd imagine. Or maybe just 3 at the back, because Emlyn Hughes looks as though he's moved forward a little bit. But certainly the idea is to take the battle even more now to Bruges. Still no goals. And here's Dalglish. Over his head nicely, and De Kuba was there, but so is Souness there. Will he get a shot in? Now Dalglish! Across the face of the goal! It's there, Dalglish! Just look at those Liverpool players! Brilliant scenes of joy. They've offside. Good decision there by referee and linesman. The little chip by Kenny Dalglish, and the magic side of that ball in the back of the Bruges net, and Liverpool in the lead. There's the pass, and really quite a soft shot, but beautifully played just inside that far post. Tommy Smith.
Oh, Patrick, it's terrific. Kenny's, well, like Ian was saying, he seemed to be taking the time, but now he's put that one in, and, that was exactly what he should have done. You couldn't have done any better. It's fabulous, unbelievable.
Now it's Kennedy. 30th goal of the season for Kenny Dalglish. And what an important one there. And away goes David Fairclough, but Bastien's across. Well, that was a marvellous piece of substitution by Bob Paisley. Within 30 seconds of the substitution having been made, Liverpool go into the lead. And the Liverpool fans now with more than enough to say for themselves. A throw for Bruges, which Jan Sorensen will take. A deep one there. De Koever's right in there. And it was an overhead tried by Van der Eycken. And a throw for Liverpool. 24 minutes to go. Chant of Dalglish going up all around Wembley now. Thompson, what a brilliant game. Neil, Thompson again. Dalglish, no, stopped that time by Bastien. His feet were high as he challenged for that ball. It's a free kick to the Belgian champions. Well, he cost £440,000. Who would argue that he was worth every penny of it now? A goal that could well bring a victory in the European Cup final. And Highway, who I don't think has really had a touch of the ball yet. Simone. And Neil planting it high. The team benches there.
Well, Liverpool are going to attack now with two front men who are very pacey, Highway and Fairclough, and I quite fancy Liverpool now to go on and add to their total.
Thompson, Hughes, Kennedy. Hughes again. And Saunders. But here's Hansen for Liverpool. Beating Dalglish, but what a battler he is. He won that ball for all that. Saunis was knocking Cools off the ball and they were both away from it. They're allowed to go on again. Here he is, the number 11 for Liverpool. Crossed in nicely onto the far side, and it was Mars who put it behind for the corner with McDermott just behind him. So McDermott and Highway over in that corner, and it's with Steve Highway, the linesman, flagging something about it that he didn't like. So Highway again with the corner. Played really wide that time. Neil. And again, the feet of Neil were too high on Van der Eycken. A free kick to Brugge. Cut out by Souness. Now Highway. Played on again for McDermott, onside. And the header by Fairclough, only finding Kennedy. Dalglish. It'll come for Kennedy. Hit in first time. Oh, a flying attempt there by Fairclough. But Kools now bringing it away for Brugge. Still 1-0 for Liverpool. 20 minutes to go. Simone. Thompson. And a throw to Brugge. Well, it's a free kick. I think the referee indicating that again the feet were high. Another substitution being made. It's Maas who's going off. And it's Volders, this fella, coming on. An attacking midfield player. In fact, he won 3 championship medals with Anderlecht, and he's also won 3 with Bruges, so he's a very experienced fellow to be able to bring on at this stage. Joseph Volders with the throw. Kools, Saunders. The Belgians now have made both their substitutions allowed. 2 from 5. Krieger falling straight for McDermott. And now Fairclough. Played in for Kennedy. The midfield men coming forward well. Now that's a good ball if Highway can get to it. Highway for Liverpool. Played again for Dalglish. Highway getting very quickly into this game. Nice little pass played here for Dalglish. Look at the space there that they've allowed him. Cooper forced back. Lakens. And an offside against Van der Eycken. Hughes. Lakens. Souness shouting around him saying that's mine. Plays the short ball for Neil. McDermott. No, that's going to be a goal kick. Ian.
Well, I think Graham Souness is directing the traffic in the middle of the field for Liverpool superbly tonight, Brian. He's had a marvellous game, and the way he set the goal up, you know, his passing short or long has been superb.
Thompson pushing down on Kools. A free kick to Brugge. Van der Eycken with it. Sweeping this long ball out here towards Hughes and towards Bastings. Kennedy away. Lakens. Fairclough across quickly, really challenging well. Souness in the air. Krieger trying to find Volders, but it's McDermott finding Dalglish. Played in, he hoped inside the back there for Fairclough. Volders. Van der Eycken, nice little ball played there. Back it comes again to Van der Eycken. Offside against Kools. And Sorensen. Julian Kools, captain of the Belgian national side, although he's not captain of his club side. Dalglish. Onside! The goalkeeper started to come and he went back now as Fairclough got past him. No, he hasn't. Jensen reacted very quickly. Liverpool's throw. Here's Hughes. Liverpool looking so hard for a second goal that would really wrap it up with a quarter of an hour to go. On the far side, got it on again, and Neil getting in there but losing out. Van der Eycken missing his chance, and Neil nudging it away here towards Highway. Neil, the long ball forward, Aikens with the header. Inside the last quarter of an hour. Well in the air. Liverpool's man of the match, I think, this fella, Phil Thompson, the long ball forward. Were you shaking your head, Ian? I'm saying Phil Thompson, the man of the match so far for Liverpool, I thought.
Having a wonderful game, Philly. So is Alan Hansen alongside him.
But here's Highway. Steins keeping close to him, but Kennedy supporting him well, though the pass wasn't angled quite right. And Kennedy got in before Saunders could get away. Van der Eycken. Simoon going for that one. Thompson winning everything in the air there. McDermott playing it to Neil. They're going to play it quickly, though, because Kuntz was in there. The most dangerous thing that Liverpool could do would be to lose a little bit of concentration now. I don't think they will for a moment, but Bruges can be dangerous on the breaks. There are 13 minutes left and Liverpool are leading by a goal to nil, and here's Emlyn Hughes. Played in for Dalglish, but Lakens is right there again. I think he made a meal of that one. There's a challenge between Dalglish and Lakens. Yes, I think you can see that qualifies for something out of the old book. Throw to Liverpool. Shoved this time by Lakens on Dalglish. Free kick. Little bit of pace and getting a corner out of Bastains, the Bruges skipper. Holders there at the post with Jensen, the keeper. Fairclough. Highway. Fairclough. Onside. Oh, that's funny. The linesman kept his flag down. That was purely a refereeing decision. The linesman went to the corner flag, in fact. He gave no indication of raising his flag, did he?
Yeah, it was the referee gave a decision, but by the law of averages, he's going to get one of them right tonight, won't he?
You're not very impressed by it?
Not really.
Hansen, oh, he's played it short for Sorensen. This could be trouble now. Turn back again and knocked off the line by Phil Thompson. Simone so close to getting an equaliser, and that really would have been a terrible lapse of concentration by Liverpool. Alan Hansen's mistake in the first place. Clements almost put it right. Simone on the turn, and that man Phil Thompson there again.
Well, Tommy Smith nearly fell out the stand there. I mean, that was a very slack pass here by Alan Hansen.
And with 11 minutes left, Liverpool are rolling. Got to keep on the ball right to the end. That's a foul by Bastains on Fairclough, and a free kick to Liverpool. the foul. Free kick coming up. McDermott. And Souness. The little chip by Souness. Kenny Dalglish is there. Kennedy is there. And whether that ball gathered a little bit of pace, it fooled the pair of them when they got in and behind that Bruges defence. In fact, there was an infringement, an offside from that free kick. And Liverpool have 10 minutes in which to preserve this one-goal lead given them by Kenny Dalglish. Thompson, a high up and under again. Lakens could be forced into an error by Highway. Really battling away there. Oh, Lakens reacting there, Mac the knife. Mind you, I think he'd been kicked rather high on his body by Highway quite early in that encounter. And the free kick given to Bruges. Yes, obstruction there by Phil Thompson. A free kick to Bruges. About 8 minutes to go. And Bruges could still have a say in this yet. Hansen's header away, a good powerful one as well, finding Dalglish, who lost his feet. Bastings. De Kuba. And de Reken. Hansen. Dalglish turning it in for Souness. Played on this time for McDermott. As full of running as ever. Now Highway. Now will he take him on? A little chip in there towards Fairclough, and that was very nearly a brilliant ball. In fact, Krieger just managed to get up there to knock that away for the corner. Fairclough's corner. Aim towards Ray Kennedy. Bastings get it away. Van der Reken. Now Thompson. Hughes. They've come forward in a line, and it's the break from the back by McDermott this time, but the pass wasn't quite accurate enough. Simone, but it's Neil. Highway. Folders. 7 minutes to go. Kick to Liverpool. Fairclough. Tossed in again there towards Dalglish. No penalty there. Again, Phil Thompson in there. Kennedy knocking it back skillfully this time for Hughes. Played out wide again for Ray Kennedy. Yes, the linesman was flanking on the far side. A free kick to Bruges. Sorensen. Bulls could be dangerous this. Played back across there. Who's there again? Phil Neal this time. With Kennedy. Souness. Six minutes to go. Liverpool leading by 1-0. Not the greatest of European Cup finals so far, but you try telling Liverpool and their supporters that. Now just a matter of 6 minutes away from becoming the first British club to win it in successive years. Souness beaten by Cools, who was the man leading the charge a moment ago for Bruges, and is right back there. A goal kick now to Bruges.
Sending the goal away to our right, Sir Birger Jensen, and he certainly can't be blamed for the scoreline at the moment. Bruges trailing by 1-0. Krieger out to this near side. Volders, a long ball from Volders, a little bit adventurous too. He was never on that one, and Souness picks it up and feeds McDermott. McDermott, Dalglish looking for Kennedy again, and that's a good ball. And again, Kennedy just fractionally offside. Just didn't wait that second or two. That's all there was in between. And the ball was finally played loosely into touch for a Liverpool throw. Hughes wants to take it quickly. Who knows, perhaps the Liverpool captain looking for his second European Cup goal. Scored against Benfica, never stopped talking about it since then. And the throw is finally taken. And then a rather loose ball, which again bounces into that little posse of photographers. We've got now 4.5 minutes to go here. Liverpool, the European champions, will know, if they need to be told by the crowd and the singing, that they're on their way to retaining the European Cup. The only British side to do so, if they do, of course. Celtic have done it. Manchester United have done it. Liverpool are going to try and do it the second time. 4 minutes to go. Bruges, halfway inside the Liverpool half, have a free kick. They look into a packed Liverpool penalty area. Simon goes up to challenge. Thompson's there, though, much higher than Simon. And finally, Kennedy clears. Fairclough, a lone figure, Fairclough, lays it back. Souness, his red stockings round his ankles as they've been for the last 20 minutes. And finally, Souness is toppled to the ground, and he will lead the free kick. Liverpool now need to keep possession. 3.5 minutes to go. Won the UEFA Cup twice, the FA Cup twice, a record 10 championships. What a side Liverpool are for consistency. Their 14th successive season in Europe, and they lead here at Wembley by 1-0. And they are now 3 minutes and 20 seconds away from being the first British side to win the European Cup twice. A major prize in Europe, remember. Bruges have possession halfway inside their own half. Van der Eycken. And although Sorensen for a moment looked dangerous, he was offside, and he knew he was offside. And very sportingly, he picks the ball up and runs all the way back with it. And the free kick will be Liverpool's, 5 or 6 yards inside their own half. If you need to be told, that's the Liverpool song now. It almost feels as if the River Mersey is flowing outside this old stadium here. What a night for Wembley. What a night for Liverpool. But there is still 2.5 minutes to go. A long ball to the edge of the Bruges area. A high clearance there by Sanders. Breaks once more. Whistle goes, though. Free kick to Bruges. And still they fight the Belgian champions. They've really been under the whip for most of the night. Although there must have been some frustration for Liverpool. And Bruges have a free kick. 2 minutes to go. Liverpool 1, Bruges 0. Krieger will take the free kick just inside his own half. Doesn't quite know where to put it. Second time he does. A long ball, headed straight back. And here come Liverpool once more. Fairclough, a little bit slow, Fairclough, and in the end he was brought down. And Liverpool again will have that free kick. By our watch now, 90 seconds to go. That's how close Liverpool are to winning the European Cup for the second time. It started such a long time ago in Iceland, back in 1964, when Graham Souness was an 11-year-old schoolboy. He's not now. He's grown up since then, Graham Souness, a very vital part of the Liverpool machine. 70 seconds to go. A long clearance from Jensen. Hansen's underneath it for Liverpool. Heads it straight into touch. This could well be the last assault by Bruges now. The throw is about 5 or 6 yards inside the Liverpool half. Downfield, Hughes is there. Bruges pick it up once more, but Hansen's there. Hansen goes down from that challenge. Hansen is still on the floor. A long clearance, though, looking for Fairclough. If you happen to be listening last Saturday, I said when the final whistle goes here, Ipswich will take over. Well, I needn't tell you here when the whistle goes, because Liverpool will take over. That you can be certain. The ball on the halfway line. Van der Eycken, a long clearance offside, easily. Volders must have been 5 yards offside. We've got 22 seconds to go. This is going to be Liverpool's night. And it's been Liverpool's season, really. Nottingham Forest took the championship so superbly, but Liverpool were there as they've been for so long, and they're going to do this surely now. We've got 10 seconds by our watch, and maybe just a few seconds added on, but not much. And the noise gets louder and louder and louder. A long clearance from Liverpool. Looking again for Fairclough. They hadn't, but they found McDermott, and McDermott hits it over the bar. That would have been the icing on the cake. That's gone straight across the shale half moon behind the Bruges goal. We are now in injury time, and the referee beckons to Jensen to take the goal kick. A long clearance inside the centre circle. Hansen looks for Dalglish. Fairclough's offside. And I think even the Belgians now know that they're done, they're out, they're finished now. The first Belgian side to be in the European Cup final. That is it! And Liverpool have done it! Was sitting alongside us in this very commentary box last Saturday, and I said, what will you feel like if you do it next Wednesday? You just watch me, he said. You just watch me. Well, we're watching him now, Ray Clements, because he's going round every single Liverpool player. The substitutes have come on. Joey Jones has come on, the man who inspires the Kop. Ei Adio, they sing, and my word, they mean it. Ei Adio, we've won the Cup. And that's exactly what Liverpool have done. Bruges did everything they could. It just was not good enough. A magic goal from Kenny Dalglish. And this particular part of Middlesex now belongs to Liverpool. Tremendous scenes we had on Saturday. That belonged to East Anglia. Well, this is not so much the market town. This is the big city of Liverpool, the big club, and the big manager, Bob Paisley, who walks out calmly and quietly, as he always is. Puts an arm round Hansen, puts an arm round his captain, and this is going to be a tremendous moment for Bob Paisley, the man who did the impossible by taking over from Bill Shankly, the man who's kept Liverpool going the only way they know how to go. That's forward, the side that love to win, and Ray Clements is going absolutely potty down there, shaking hands with Graham Souness, who's become a Liverpool player, and Ray Clements waves to us, and we wave back to Ray Clements. Well done, Liverpool. And again, the backroom staff will come out. The man who meant so much, of course, to Bob Paisley, who's been around so long with Bill Shankly. And Joe Fagan will be just as delighted, and Ronnie Moran will be just as delighted. Because remember, Liverpool are not a club. Liverpool are an institution. And this is one of their great nights. Because Emlyn Hughes is about to walk up those 39 steps. And Emlyn Hughes is coming up the steps to say, can we have our cup back? Because that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to get his cup back. They come up the steps. It doesn't seem very long, in fact, when you've won. Ipswich Town will know that from last Saturday. So Emlyn Hughes will lead his team up. Played over 600 games for Liverpool. 51 caps for England. I don't think any of them will have given him quite the delight. If he can actually get, that is, to the top of the steps. He'll move along, and he will be presented with the cup by the Dr. Antonio Franchi, the president of UEFA. I don't think Emlyn Hughes will really care. That's the cheer for Emlyn Hughes. The biggest smile on Wembley. And he just, for a moment, holds a fist up in the air. And when Emlyn Hughes smiles, he lights up everything around him. He takes the cup, and in a moment, you'll hear the roar. It's his cup. It's Liverpool's cup. So just for 90 minutes, they took the red and white ribbons off that enormous silver trophy. They put those red and white ribbons right back where they belong, because that cup will go back again now to the Anfield boardroom. And the chairman, John Smith, really, for me, epitomises the hospitality of a great club. He's there, a great day for him too. Ray Clements receives his medal. Not had very much to do, Ray Clements, tonight. What he had to do, he did well. Jimmy Case, the man who not so long ago was playing in front of 500 people for South Liverpool. He was brought off in place of Steve Highway, but it's a great night for him too. And Phil Thompson, Again, just over a year ago, they felt perhaps his career was finished. But a cheer too for Bruges, the Belgian champions. Alphonse Bastains, the captain, will go up, and he'll shake hands too with Dr. Frankie. They did everything, but the cheers at the moment belong to the men in red, who have now gone down the steps again. Joe Fagan is there to put an arm round Emlyn Hughes. The photographers, I'm certain now, will want to line up that Liverpool side, and everybody will be there too. Steve Ogrizovic, the young goalkeeper who hardly ever gets a look in with Ray Clements, and Joey Jones and Colin Irwin, and Ian Callaghan, who's been around for so long, and Steve Highway too, the substitutes. They're all there, and a little jig from Terry McDermott and Emlyn Hughes, like two kids playing on the sands. Oh, what a picture that is. McDermott and Hughes. Terry McDermott came to Liverpool from Newcastle, scored in Rome in the final last year. He's doing a Liverpool jig. McDermott and Hughes, I don't know, whatever you'd call it. And David Johnson, one of the Liverpool players, down there on crutches. I think he would want to throw them away. Don't do that, David, you could injure yourself. But the Liverpool players now go away to our right. For Bruges, of course, it's a bit of disappointment.